while American men over 50 visit the bathroom 6 to 8 times a night and deal with embarrassing leaks daily, men in Japan the same age sleep through the night without a single bathroom trip. The difference is not genetics, not expensive medications, not surgery. It is 5 specific movements practiced daily for just minutes. Drop your name and state in the comments so I know who is here with me today. Let me show you exactly what to do starting right now with the first movement. Lie flat on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor about hip width apart. Place your hands on your lower abdomen just above your pubic bone. Now breathe in deeply through your nose for 4 seconds, feeling your belly rise under your hands. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds, while gently pulling your belly button toward your spine. As you exhale, imagine you are stopping the flow of urine midstream without clenching your buttocks or thighs. Hold that contraction for 3 seconds at the end of each exhale. This diaphragmatic pelvic breath activates the deep pelvic floor muscles that support your prostate and bladder neck. Korean doctors have used this as the foundation of prostate health for centuries because it increases blood flow to the pelvic region by up to 40%, while strengthening the exact muscles that prevent leaks. Start with 10 repetitions and focus on the quality of each contraction rather than speed. The key here is isolating those internal muscles without engaging your glutes or abs, which most men get wrong at first. Take your time learning this because everything else builds on this foundation. Now we move to the second exercise, which takes that control to the next level. Stay on your back in the same position, but this time we add a bridge component. Perform your pelvic floor contraction exactly as before, stopping that imaginary urine flow. But as you hold the contraction, lift your hips off the ground, creating a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Hold this bridge position for 5 seconds while maintaining that pelvic floor squeeze, then lower down slowly over 3 seconds while keeping the pelvic muscles engaged. This elevated pelvic bridge forces your pelvic floor to work against gravity while simultaneously strengthening your glutes and lower back, creating a support system around your prostate. Swedish physical therapists discovered that men who performed this movement daily reduced nighttime bathroom trips by 60% within 3 weeks, because it addresses both muscle weakness and poor circulation in one exercise. Do 8 repetitions focusing on smooth, controlled movement. If holding for 5 seconds is too challenging at first, start with 3 seconds and build up gradually. The mistake most men make is lifting too high and losing that pelvic floor contraction, so keep your bridge moderate and your focus internal. The third movement shifts to a seated position, which mimics how you spend most of your day. Sit on the edge of a firm chair with your feet flat on the floor and your spine straight. Place your hands on your thighs. Now perform a pelvic floor contraction and hold it while you lean forward from your hips, keeping your back straight, as if you are reaching to tie your shoes. Go down until you feel a gentle stretch in your hamstrings. Hold for 3 seconds, then return to upright while maintaining that pelvic squeeze the entire time. This seated pelvic tilt with forward fold was practiced by traditional Chinese medicine practitioners for prostate health because it stretches the pelvic floor while keeping it engaged, teaching the muscles to maintain control even during movement and position changes. Most men lose control when they bend, stand, cough, or laugh because their pelvic floor only works in one static position. This exercise fixes that problem by training functional strength. Perform 12 repetitions and focus on keeping that contraction steady throughout the entire movement cycle. You will feel this working in your lower abdomen and deep in your pelvis, and that is exactly what you want. Movement 4 introduces rotation, which activates the lateral pelvic stabilizers that most men completely ignore. Lie on your right side with your knees bent at 90 degrees and stacked on top of each other. Keep your feet together. Now contract your pelvic floor muscles, and while holding that contraction, lift your left knee up toward the ceiling like a clamshell opening, but keep your feet touching. Hold the knee up for 4 seconds while maintaining your pelvic floor squeeze, then lower slowly over 3 seconds. This clamshell pelvic hold targets the obturator internus and other deep hip rotators that directly support the prostate and prevent stress incontinence. Japanese urologists include this in every prostate rehabilitation program because it strengthens the muscles that keep you dry when you cough, sneeze, or lift something heavy. Do 10 repetitions on each side and make sure your hips stay stacked vertically, not rolling backward. The challenge is maintaining that internal pelvic contraction while your hip moves, which is precisely why this works so well for real-world leak prevention. Now the fifth movement combines everything you have learned into one powerful sequence. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart and hands on your hips. Contract your pelvic floor muscles firmly and hold while you slowly squat down as if sitting back into a chair, going only as low as you can while keeping your heels on the ground and your chest up. At the bottom of the squat, hold the position for 5 seconds while maintaining maximum pelvic floor contraction. Then stand back up over 4 seconds without releasing that squeeze. This standing pelvic squat is the ultimate functional exercise because it trains your pelvic floor to support you during the exact movement pattern you use dozens of times daily when sitting and standing. Australian researchers found that men who mastered this single exercise reduced leakage episodes by 73% because it builds the endurance and strength needed for all-day bladder control. Start with 8 repetitions, and if a full squat is too difficult, use a higher chair behind you for safety until you build confidence. The goal is not depth, but rather maintaining that rock-solid pelvic contraction throughout the entire movement. Here's what most men miss, and this is critical for your success. Your pelvic floor muscles are like any other muscle group. They need progressive overload and consistency. The routine I just showed you works because it hits your pelvic floor from every angle. Lying down, bridging, seated, side-lying, and standing, which means no weak spots. But here's the game changer that Japanese men know and American men do not. You need to do this sequence twice daily, once in the morning, right after you wake up, and once before bed. The morning session primes your muscles for the day ahead, giving you better control during your active hours. The evening session ensures your pelvic floor stays engaged through the night, reducing those frustrating bathroom trips. Each complete routine takes exactly 5 minutes. Set a timer if you need to. Morning routine is the same 5 exercises in order: 10 reps of diaphragmatic pelvic breath, 8 reps of elevated pelvic bridge, 12 reps of seated pelvic tilt with forward fold, 10 reps per side of clamshell pelvic hold, and 8 reps of standing pelvic squat. Evening routine is identical. No equipment needed, no gym membership, no complicated schedules. Just you, your floor, or a chair, and 5 minutes of focused effort. Within the first week, you will notice you are making it 2 to 3 hours between bathroom trips instead of 1 hour. By week 2, nighttime interruptions drop from 6 times to maybe 3 or 4. By week 3, you will have your first full night of uninterrupted sleep in years. By week 4, those embarrassing leaks when you cough or laugh will be gone. This is not magic. This is not a miracle pill. This is your body responding exactly as it was designed to when you give it the right stimulus. The Japanese call this kaizen, continuous improvement through small daily actions. You are not trying to fix everything overnight. You are committing to 5 minutes twice a day to reclaim your dignity, your confidence, your freedom from constantly searching for the nearest bathroom. 5 minutes to stop being afraid to laugh too hard or sneeze in public. 5 minutes to sleep through the night and wake up actually rested instead of exhausted from bathroom trips. Now, drop your name, age, and state down in the comments right now. I want to hear from every single man here who is ready to take back control. Tell me where you are starting from, how many times you are waking up at night, and what you are most looking forward to when this routine fixes your problem. I read every comment and I will respond to you personally because you are not just a number to me. You are a man who deserves to live without embarrassment and limitation. Get started with that first exercise today, right now if you can, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of your new leak-free life.